Laura, you need to unmute yourself.
Oops, sorry. Hi, I'm Lori, Treasurer of the New Jersey Public Health Innovation Political Action Committee. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or a returning viewer, welcome. I'm excited to guide you through this important conversation tonight. The PAC Chat was created to provide a platform for New Jersey voters to meet vetted and qualified candidates, as well as health freedom advocates, with the hopes that their voices and ours create a ripple effect of impact in protecting health freedom, upholding parental rights, and promoting informed consent, along with our uniquely individual health rights. Our ultimate goal is to enhance the quality, transparency, and mechanisms that deliver the highest standards of health for you and your families, and consequently rid the state of any lawmaker who does not align with that goal. Public health cannot be a one size fits all approach. It's the collective outcome of the personal health of every individual, every man, woman, and child in our community. When our elected officials prioritize and respect the health of each person, they foster a healthier community for all of us. I would have to assume that many of you are tuning in because you face a pressing concern: the alarming rate at which our government, both at the state and national levels, is encroaching on our health sovereignty, both individually and collectively. Lawmakers, government bureaucrats, and corporate elites have been relentless in their pursuit of policies that threaten our autonomy and impact the very state of our health. As New Jersey residents, it's imperative that we recognize these challenges and address them together. In particular, the erosion of parental rights in New Jersey and beyond has left countless families feeling vulnerable and marginalized. These aren't just abstract issues, they're realities that profoundly affect our lives and the well being of our loved ones. We must also acknowledge that the current landscape can feel overwhelming. The trauma stemming from our fight for religious exemption, compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath, has left many of us feeling fatigued and disempowered. The inconvenient truth of living in this beautiful garden state is that amongst the challenges posed by Murphy's Law and a legislative body often swayed by lobbying and corporate interests, we must remain ever vigilant. These issues do not exist in a vacuum. They impact our daily lives and the lives of those we care most about. But here's the good news. In response to these persistent and aggressive tactics, we continue to take a stand. As many of you may remember, NJ5PAC emerged in 2020 from one of the most significant health freedom triumphs in our state has ever seen, and its momentum continues to blaze a trail forward, empowered by our righteous cause. Together, we understand that when we show up, unite, act with logic and persistence, we can achieve remarkable success. For those of you who have been following our work, we hope you recognize our unwavering commitment to this cause. NJ5PAC strives to empower you, our community, by keeping you informed about the latest threats and successes in the fight for freedom, both statewide and nationwide. We aim to arm you with knowledge, resources, and tools so that you can open doors to advocate for yourselves and your families. Together, we can work to steer our state back on track, ensuring our voices are not only heard but respected. So let us stand united in this vital mission, advocating for our rights and ensuring that health sovereignty remains a fundamental aspect of our lives. Thank you for being here. And before we dive into tonight's discussion and introduce our special guests, let me remind you to please visit our website, nj5pac.org, and consider a contribution. 100% of our contributions go to meeting with candidates and electioneering and key strategic elections. So without further ado, let's introduce you to Carmen, who is from the 10th District.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Listen, I love just what you guys are doing. I've been to your events. Keep up the fight. It's a hard fight, but a very good fight and a very worthy cause fight. So please keep doing what you're doing, and you have my full support.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us and our viewers today. So for those unfamiliar with where Carmen Bucco is from, it's the Congressional District 10, which is Essex County, Jersey City and Hudson County, parts of it, and Union County. So the towns are on the bottom of the screen. If you have friends there or if you live there and you want to get the word out, please do. So we're excited to introduce you to our community. Let's jump right in.
Sounds like a plan. First, Coco has to get her 2 cents in, otherwise she'll be very upset at me. She's a little exhausted from the campaign.
Oh my gosh, so cute. So for those of you that don't know, Carmen is a tailor, and not just any tailor. He makes impeccable. You got to check it out. Bucco Couture. You want to share your link because it's so impressive. The suit you made Carlos Santos was amazing.
People love it. You know, what's funny is I don't do any marketing. My whole business is built on Google. We have like 250 5-stars reviews. We get people from Philadelphia, Connecticut. They take the trip. I'm like, why me? They're like, you're the only one that has amazing reviews. But it's a testament to how I'm going to handle constituents in our district too, right? A little bit about me for your viewers. I grew up in the foster care system. Basically lived on the streets at times. Nearly lost my life to drug addiction. It led me down a path to live the American dream, right? Either I was going to become a statistic or a part of society. And and frankly, that message was resonating in our underserved districts. I don't call our districts urban districts because I don't believe in I don't believe in the negativity of the word. So I call all our districts underserved districts, and they're starting to understand why, right? Because they're not served the way they should be served. But I also have a foundation now for foster kids, orphans, and underserved children. We raise money for them transitioning into adulthood because of what happened to me in my life. And just a little quick tidbit. I'm happy to say that we've applied to the Shark Tank probably 12 or 13 times. We got to the second round 3 times. We just didn't get on the show. But we innovated a men's mobile boutique, which was the only one ever created on the East Coast. So it was a store, an elegant store on wheels. So that's another testament to what I'm a person who believes in making things happen. And it brought me to a message that I've been relating to the people that I'm seeing on a daily basis. You know, I'm the first ever Republican to step foot into Newark, Irvington, and East Orange, into the worst parts. And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here to make your life better. That's it. No more than that. We're not doing that, right? Most of these elected officials will get elected, and then you never see them for 4 years until they come with their hot dogs to buy your vote. I am not bought and paid for. I am legitimately the man that came from the streets and is going to change the world. And I say that because it's funny. I went to a Baptist church for the first time on Sunday. It was an amazing experience. I mean, I want to go back. That's how amazing it was. But as I'm going home, my Ring camera goes off. And I'm like, who's at my front porch? I see these little legs climbing up my Ring camera. And it was a praying mantis.
Wow.
So when I say God put me on this path and I'm humbly accepting this challenge that I've made 11 times prior to this, God is a very powerful message. So
no, that's amazing to hear.
So what I was trying to get at is, as a small businessman, right? I think we lack that. And you're probably going to ask me why I'm running.
It's my next question.
It is no more than the people, right? We've lost our way, and it's time we get back on a path to being able to have everybody live the American dream. We're failing our communities, our elderly, our senior citizens, and I'm telling you, based on experiences that I've had, senior citizen calls me and says, I got to put my head down as I walk out of my house. A parent, a constituent that I just got off the phone with, and she knows I'm not elected. She goes, but I'm begging you for your help. She has 2 kids, works a full-time job, and goes to school full-time. These are the people we want, right? We want to help. Do you know she can't get aid to for daycare so she can actually go to school and work a full-time job? We're failing our people, and I will not let that happen. I can actually probably wind up being the deciding vote should I win this congressional seat. But I tell the people, I said it's about the 3 Ps we use in small business, and it's also about POP. The 3 Ps stand for people, product, and process, right? I am the people, the constituents of the product, but the process is broken. And the process is broken is because our elected officials are taking all that money and spending that money on their pet projects, not putting back into the community. So they can just keep buying their votes. I will tell you that that will end. I am going to be full force when it comes to any corruption that goes on in our communities. I am a no nonsense. I am a no nonsense candidate, right? We need to fix the problems, not band aid them. So those are the reasons really why I'm running. And the last was POP. It will always be people over politics. We have elected officials that get in office and they just sit there. Like I said earlier, they'll sit there and do nothing. And then election time comes and, we're going to go plant little plants. No, that's just not how it works. Should I win this race, we will actually have offices in almost every section of the district. We are there to help the constituents and make the constituents' lives better. They will be able to put food on their table. They will be able to walk their streets. The kids will be able to play stickball. By time I will do everything in my power to make that happen. And here's the beautiful part, right? I have Democrats on my team. We have to have the ability to, when we get in office, it's not about fighting, it's about negotiating and negotiating what's in the best interest of the people. And when it comes to policies, not putting all this fluff into a policy when it's specifically, let's say it's for the border, it should be for the border. It shouldn't be, well, I'm going to give 8 billion here and 8 billion there. And that's not going to happen with me.
It's good to hear.
So I'm looking forward to being the first Republican in District 10 to win this election because it's about positivity over negativity.
And we appreciate that. So do you have any life experiences or personal testimonies you can share that may have shaped your positions on health freedom and parental rights?
Only based on what I've seen from you and your organization, to see so many vaccines being pushed into our kids. I hear stories on the streets of what some of these medications can do. I don't think, and like you said, right, one thing doesn't fit all, right? And I'll give it as an example. I'm just going to use NyQuil as an example. I could take NyQuil and you could take NyQuil, but our bodies are going to have different effects. I am not a component of medications. I don't like medications. Maybe it's because of my childhood with drugs. But I'm always looking for different ways, homeopathic ways, I think you would say it is. I take a lot of vitamins, haven't gotten sick in God knows how long. And I have this thing where now actually I start taking vitamin D3 and elderberry and Zicam, and I don't get sick through the winter. Knock on wood, right? I can't afford to get sick.
And it's really about the choice, that you're not
you should have a choice
into taking something you don't want to take or that your body doesn't react well to.
Well, not only that, but we live in the land of the free. Why are we forced to take something? Who knows what's in these medications? We'll never know. They put it on there, but who knows? And we're just feeding the pharmaceutical companies big money.
Yep, mandating their product and then giving them immunity. So it's double-edged.
Yes.
So current event questions. The people watching, many of whom are advocates who stay close to the issues of health freedom in this state, see threats on a state and global level almost daily. Threats of new exploding viruses, tightening of pandemic preparedness tactics. How do you view the government's role in the personal health decisions? What limits do you believe should be placed on the government intervention in health matters?
As we all know, the government has a tendency to mess things up. I personally don't think they should have their hands in that. It should be left to the experts. It should not be. It should not be. You've seen what COVID did to this country, not only with the health crisis, but with the mental crisis that we have going on. I don't believe that the federal government should have any hand in medical decisions nor educational decisions. If that answer is plain and simple enough.
Yes. So the next question is New Jersey Bill A 1884, sponsored by Assemblyman Herb Conaway, who's running for Congress in the 3rd District, establishes acts of disseminating misinformation as professional misconduct for healthcare professionals, even though just yesterday it was ruled by a federal judge that fluoride in the water does pose an unreasonable risk to children. But for so long, it's been denied. So we have, science that evolves, but we're going to pretty much shackle our doctors and the people that are on the front lines of science and say that it's misinformation if you don't go with what's currently, recommended. So it's our belief that the doctors should be able to grow in their transparency, not get quieter, but get louder. Do you back the notion that healthcare professionals have the duty to give true informed consent about their treatment options and associated risk, even if it goes outside the mainstream consensus at that time?
Absolutely.
Thanks. In light of the fact that 74% of our nation's children are ailed with at least one form of chronic illness and a current medical establishment that's failing them, how do you view access to alternative and complementary health treatments? And I think you spoke about this a little bit before.
You know what's funny is, think about this, right? Orange juice. They say orange juice is great for you. Drink a lot of orange juice. And then all of a sudden they come out and they say, oh, hey, don't drink too much orange juice. It can cause this, it could cause that, right? I'm speaking as a realist, okay? I don't believe we have the answer to anything. We just go by what the masses say, if that makes any sense. Look, we can't. I think your question is repeat the question.
So how do you view access to alternative and complementary health treatment? So I'll give you an example. In New Jersey, the health insurance was cut for chiropractors and acupuncture. So even partial coverage was cut, where you would have a copay or something like that. Certain plans, and the government plans as well. So like teachers, things like that. But they'll pay for, any other things, pharmaceuticals, etc. So how would you support legislation that allows patients to have access to and explore homeopathy? So the FDA was also for a while trying to ban homeopathic supplements and things like that.
And I don't know why they would do that, right? I didn't even know. Well, I mean, I have healthcare, but I didn't even know that was actually taken out. But
not on all plans, but the state's plan did it, and it is being a trend. It's going in that direction, that less and less coverage per year. So somebody that would have had 20 visits last year may have like 3 or 4 this year. Things like that have been happening. But just curiosity where you would stand on alternative medicine.
It needs to be put back in. I mean, it does help. I went for acupuncture for my back, right? And it helped out severely. I mean, I had back surgery 4 times. But they think cutting these corners helps, but save a penny here. And just, I guess you can mark it up to what our leadership's going, what's happening in our leadership today, right?
But, speaking from personal, back surgery, they bill insurance, I think about $120,000 for a fusion. And how much is a chiropractor? If you're able to mitigate that.
And I still go and it's everything under medical should be covered, whether it's homeopathic or medication or doctors, right? It should all be fully covered. I mean, I don't know why we penny pinch to save a few dollars, thinking that it's going to make a difference, and it's only hurting the constituents in the end. It's not doing them any justice by saying, well, you can only go see him 3 times, but I need to see him 5 or 6 times. People can't afford to pay their medical bills now, and you want to cut these things when they may need to go see a chiropractor or acupuncture 7 or 8 times a year. Again, to me, it's just nonsense, not common sense.
We appreciate it. So another recent bill that we helped leverage a call to action for was a bill that would make way for federally qualified school-based healthcare centers in schools. It's far from comforting to our families, as we know the federal government has a poor track record in establishing healthcare when $4.5 trillion a year is spent for what we would describe as sick care. The parents view the school-based health clinics as a place where medical suggestions and persuasions could be made, which is yet another attempt to put a wedge between the parents and the child. How do you intend to protect parental rights, especially when it comes to healthcare decisions for their children?
It's not going to happen under my watch.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it again, we have a lot to fix. And this is another area of them trying to control what they shouldn't be controlling. Everything should be, I mean, they didn't have the child, right? They
That's the bottom line, right?
didn't have the kid. So,
Every
you know,
day it gets
we're
scarier and
the
scarier what
pro-
your kids are exposed to when they're not with you.
but this is kind of our fault, right? Because we're letting them do it. Right. So I would tell anybody who's running, if you do allow these things to happen, you should not be a candidate.
And, I feel like a lot of people don't see it. They don't acknowledge that there's there's a wedge being driven there. And I think that's what's harder. Because when you see the bigger picture, you don't want your kids influenced on different things, on anything really. They're kids, like they're meant to be parented, not
Right.
by anybody
There-
else.
There's issues that are school based, and there's issues that you keep at your dining room table.
Exactly.
And I've heard that school boards are giving out people's information, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I mean, especially with the way the world is today. Yeah, no.
It's scary.
And anybody who does support that's running, get out of the way because I'm coming for you.
Thank you. We can't wait. So it's just weeks away from an extremely pivotal election. Tell us about your campaign and your district. What challenges, if any, are you up against, and what's your path to victory?
The path of victory is under God's hope, right? But no, look, we're very excited. We are touching hearts. We're giving people hope. I mean, when I'm on the campaign trail and somebody says, there's someone here who finally gives us hope. You're not the typical Republican. People actually think I'm a Democrat the way I talk. And I'm like, yeah, but no. Look, we, and I may get criticized for saying this, but there are a lot of Democrats out there that actually are, they would call them, right? Like how they call rhinos. I call them dinos, right? Democrat in name only. They are coming out in droves. I mean, I'll give you a quick example. I had a woman wear my Bucco for Congress shirt in a Newark town meeting, and said, this man came down here not for just the votes to fix the problems. And all you people keep doing is causing us problems. So that brings us excitement, right? Here's the thing. We are outnumbered. And I tell everybody, it's like dating. Don't hate the player, hate the game, but play the game better. They destroy us in mail-in ballots. That's fine, right? Do I agree with that there is no improprieties during the mail-in ballots? I'm going to call a spade a spade. There is. Nobody's sitting there counting 13,000, 14,000, or 100,000 mail-in ballots and matching up the signatures. We don't have the forces to do that. So how we combat that is I'm telling the people, have hope, think positive. We can win this, but every single voter has to come out and vote, whether you're Democrat or Republican. We know for a fact that we are getting a lot of Democratic votes. I get calls on my phone daily from people from East Orange and this and all over Essex County, saying that they ask me a few questions, and I'm like, yes, no, and they're like, but you're very direct. Can you explain? I'm like, there's no need to explain. You asked the question, I gave you the answer, and they're like, you got my vote. We always voted Democrat. I said, look, if you want to continue down the path we've continued in District 10 for the past 30 to 40 years, and I told the NJEA the same thing. I told him, you're probably not going to endorse me, and I'm fine with that, right? But don't sit here and complain about your schools and your kids eating slop and oatmeal, and you keep voting and keep supporting the same people over and over again. I said, just give me a chance. If I fail you, and I tell the regular public, if I fail you, fire me in 2 years. Don't reelect me. But here's the thing I tell them, and I make this a guarantee because I don't make promises because promises are made to be broken. I simply say, this is a contract. You can fire me after 2 years. But here's the thing. You will not want to fire me after 2 years. You're going to keep reelecting me, and I'm not going to have to work this hard because I'm going to do what needs to be done. There's politicians. Most politicians are just there for the glory and the ego. And then you have elected officials. I am an elected official. My job is to work. And what we're going to do in this district, because we're going to send the funds and the resources are going to go where they're supposed to go. They're not going to be put in people's pocket or people's campaign, quote unquote, bank accounts. I am going to create more entrepreneurs than you've ever seen in the city of Newark and Irvington. And there's simple ways to do it. We're going to change the mindsets like we've already been doing in the underserved districts, that we are excited. And if we lose, we still won, because we won the hearts and we helped change mindsets in all of Essex and Union and Hudson County. So that's where I'm excited.
Absolutely. I think just to remind you, we're a nonpartisan PAC. We support people on both sides. There's a lot of people on both sides that respect body autonomy, and there's people on both sides that don't. And we saw that in Jersey in 2020.
Yep.
So we're not partisan, but it's refreshing to see competition, because I think that helps keep things good too. To see people coming out with what they believe in. I think you vote on the individual. You don't always go party line. And
Right.
I think when people meet you, that's evident that, you're somebody you would want representing you, somebody that cares, not somebody that just got put in.
Listen, even for some of the biased media stations to say, I can't get anybody to say anything bad about you, you are changing people's lives. So it's a blessing.
It's evident. So I think, when people see you and have exposure, I think it's not a party line thing. It's who do I want? Who do I think cares about my issues?
Exactly. And it's, believe me, what you're doing, what you guys are doing is unbelievable work, right? And we need more people, advocates like you guys. So when I do get to Congress, I can sit down and work together, resolve the issues, and not just pander to what the politicians want you to do, right?
And we appreciate that.
It's all in negotiating.
That's the goal. And we do have current Congress people that do reach out to us with, what do you think of this? What's your opinion on that? Because sometimes things are lost in wording, or there might be things we recognize because we're so close to the issue. Exactly. So absolutely 100% reach out, and we will get back to you right away with our thoughts. So to get more up close and personal, what was your first paid job?
I was shining shoes. I was actually shining shoes. That's how I learned my craft. I started shining shoes, pressing clothes, then went to start tailoring clothes. Everybody's amazed that I can make a suit, but I'm going to charge them $4,000 if I have to make it.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Your suits are amazing.
Thank you.
Have you lived anywhere other than New Jersey?
No. What's funny is actually I lived on church property. One of my foster homes, I lived on top of St. Joseph Center at Holy Family Church in Nutley. And that's why I put my business back into Nutley. They helped me. They gave me a home. So, nice. Yeah, it was Nutley, Belleville, all Essex County.
What's your current favorite restaurant in your district? Or give me a few.
Listen, because I'm not just giving you a plug, but I love my brother's restaurant. And it's funny because we really didn't talk for like 20 years. And my mother had passed away, and we started to hang out again together. So now we go to his restaurant every Friday. So at least the family's together every Friday. Which one? Bucco's in Bloomfield.
Oh, okay. We'll have to try it out. You're not far from me.
Try it on a Friday night. We'll all have to get together and do a Friday night dinner.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of good restaurants throughout. I mean, I don't want to just name a couple, but there's a lot of good restaurants.
All right, we'll have to Yelp it.
I'm a steak guy. So if you guys ever want to buy me a steak, I take it medium well.
Oh, judging you. No, I'm just kidding. What's the last TV series you watched?
I always watched those Chicago series, Chicago Med, Chicago I always watch those. They're pretty cool. I like
What's
more realistic stuff.
what's one place you wish to travel when you get a chance?
I finally did Italy for the first time. I want to go back and do the Amalfi Coast, but Greece is someplace I definitely want to visit, and I'd love to visit Hong Kong and Tokyo, and just to see like some of these places are amazing, and we're just so in New Jersey's head, right? Sometimes we just don't get away to go and see what's really out there. But I'm an Aruba guy. I'm an Aruba, Italy, and Dominican Republic guy.
Oh, nice. Good choices. So lastly, we always want to ask, what does health freedom mean to you?
That's a good question. I mean, look, it's our body, our choice, right? Um, Nobody should control what we put in our body, what we eat. Although I hear it's better to eat in Italy than it is in the U.S.
Everywhere.
And that's why I'm actually very impressed with JFK.
Or
Um, I'm sorry,
RFK.
RFK. Sorry.
Oh, no,
Um,
that's okay.
we actually, if could you imagine if we actually started eating like they did in Italy? Like there's no. I wonder we would probably live till we're 110.
There are people here with sensitivities that go abroad and they can eat the foods are sensitive to here.
And
So
the taste is totally different. It's just amazing. But look, the bottom line is it's our body, our choice, right? And the government should not be telling us where, what, and how to control our bodies.
thank you. So before we let you go, can you share with us any way our viewers can help support you and any final words you have?
Absolutely. One, if they want to make a donation, 2024, a donation of $20.24 to help us take our journey to the next level. They can visit carmenbucco.com, CarmenBucco.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Bucco for New Jersey. And just so you guys know and your viewers know, we're hopeful to win this election, but I will not rest. People know me for running continuously every single year for something. I don't give up when I fall off a horse. And I guess that's because of the way I was built, right? Growing up, I made myself the man I am. I will not walk away. Where most politicians will run and just say bye. Yeah, I don't walk away from nothing.
Well, we
So
hope it doesn't come to that, and we hope you're in
we're
Congress.
we're very
Stay in
hopeful
touch.
and we have a very good outlook. But please, if they want more information, I have videos, interviews up. They can see my testimonials. They'll get to know me as long as they watch my video about me. And look, here's what I'll say. One last comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Elections are won by our voices at the voting polls. I'm asking, don't think of the negative that we lose, we lose, we lose. Stop thinking that. Come out. You got your mail in votes. You got early election, which is just like going into the polls on election day. Just flood the polls. We flood the polls. We should change the face of politics this year specifically. And once we do that, people will start believing and coming together and start actually getting involved more. So I'm looking forward to these numbers. I'm actually very, very, with a major smile on my face, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen November 5th.
Well, thank you so much. It was
Thank
nice
you.
speaking to you.
Thank you for what you do. Please keep up the fight. You got my support, and I'm sure I
You have
could probably
ours.
tell you 99% of my followers, you have their support.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So God bless what you guys do, and to the rest of the people, stay safe and God bless you.
Thank you on behalf of myself and the board of directors at NJ5PAC. We want to thank you for your voice and your time. We wish you the best of luck. Well, thank you for all staying dialed in. It's not only advantageous, but imperative to have strong representation for New Jersey and our country. Our future and our children's future depends on it. Please once again visit our website and consider a contribution. 100% goes toward meeting and elevating candidates and incumbents for the greater good of health freedom for our families and our loved ones and yours. See you next time on the PAC Chat.